Hello Miners, welcome back. We are headed back to the spaghetti monsters this week, but this time we're going all in on them. This week we are playing Big Eldrazi. I actually found this list looking through the 5.0 deck dump there and saw that G-Hash had posted a 5.0 with something, so my first thought was like, okay, sweet, Wheel Stompy is back on the menu. So I pulled up the list, and then I saw it was this just pile of Big Eldrazi. I'm like, all right, I gotta try this. I've been having a ton of fun with the spaghetti monsters lately. Let's try this take on it and see how it goes. It's not quite as big or land centric as like Eldrazi Post is, but it's not using the smaller, low to the ground, more aggressive Eldrazi the way that like the rug Eldrazi aggro decks are going. So this is kind of in the middle. It's focusing on the big top end Eldrazi, ramping them out, but without really being a control shell. You're basically just trying to get as much mana on the battlefield as possible, slam these huge Eldrazi that have crazy cast triggers and abilities once they hit the battlefield. So you're seeing the normal ones here: Devourer of Destiny, Null Drifter, Sowing Mycospawn, but there's also Breaker of Creation in this list as well, which is actually a life gain Eldrazi. So while you don't have a lot of early game interaction, what you're hoping is as you're making all your land drops and you're using your artifacts for ramp, you're going to make up for the early game loss of life once you slam Breaker of Creation, because you gain a life for every colorless permanent you control. So in theory, you're going to gain at least 4 life, if not more, because that is the minimum number of lands it's going to take to slam this 8-drop if they're all soul lands. It's a good way to make up for the fact that you're not really doing a whole ton in the early game. As far as early game interaction goes, you do have Kozilek's Command, which will allow you to create some Scions to ramp. It will allow you to remove a creature that's a pain in the ass and smacking you down so that you can get to the later game, or it can help you smooth out your draws to get what you need, and then you're just going to finish off the game with these big creatures. Emrakul the Promised End on the high mana curve here so that you can take your opponent's next turn, just completely wreck their hand, wreck their board, suicide into your big Eldrazi, so that you can basically just win on the crackback the next turn. Null Drifter for card draw, Devourer of Destiny for more removal, Sowing Mycospawn to ramp and remove lands. And that's pretty much the main deck. Whole bunch of lands, all the soul lands for Eldrazi, including Ugin's Labyrinth, Gaia's Cradle, because you're probably going to have a bunch of Scion tokens at some point. So Gaia's Cradle is probably tapping for 5-6 mana by the time you're actually wanting to use it. That alone is already almost half of Emrakul. And then, even though all of our stuff has really good cast triggers, so we are already taxing our opponent because we're casting stuff and we're already getting reactions. Our spells don't have to resolve, but we do need to eventually resolve creatures to be able to finish the game out. So we do have Cavern of Souls to make sure that we can punch our creatures through all the blue-based control decks. So even though we're screwing with them with the cast triggers that they're hopefully not really going to be able to interact with, we still need to actually get creatures on the battlefield to win the game. So we do have Cavern of Souls to be able to force those through. In the sideboard, you've got Leyline of the Void and Mindbreak Trap for the combo decks, Thought-Knot Seer to be able to tear apart your opponent's hand, also for combo, but also for the mid-range matchups where you're trying to make sure that you can punch a hole through to get your stuff through. All is just to wipe up any kind of aggro or go-wide decks. Dismember to get rid of any kind of problematic permanents that are creatures. Like Collector Oof does do a little bit to this deck, but not a ton. But it's just to get rid of any kind of creature that's in the way that you really need to be able to get rid of, because decks like these are super, super weak to Magus of the Moon style effects. So you need to be able to kill a Magus of the Moon, Magus of the Tides, whatever it's called, Harbinger of the Tides, Harbinger of the Flood, something like that. Magus of the Flood Moon, let's call it that. But yeah, so that's all this deck is trying to do, is basically just make a bunch of land drops, get a ton of mana, cast these big spaghetti monsters to overtake the game. This is the type of deck that is going to prey on the blue tempo fair decks. It has virtually no game versus combo decks. No game whatsoever, game 1. Games 2 and 3, I mean, you got some very specific hate, but you really don't have a ton of way to interact with them outside of hoping that they can't stop a Mindbreak Trap or something like that. But anyways, let's take this into a league, see if this take of Eldrazi can do as well as some of the past ones that I've been playing lately. And I will catch you all in the wrap-up. Alright, we're going big today, playing some big Eldrazi. I mean, this is a turn 2 Cozy's Command for 2, but the repetitive Eye of Ugins are a bit of a liability here, so I think we gotta ship this one. I actually like this a lot. I think we're gonna go ahead and keep this. It's very disruptive, and it can accelerate out a large Cozy's Command pretty quickly. So I think we're honestly probably gonna go put away... Let's do the Ugin's Labyrinth. just because we don't know if we're going to be able to turn it on. And sometimes double Wasteland is just enough to like end a game. So let's see. Opponent's mulliganing to 5, so either they're having some really bad luck with lands and mulligans, or they're on something unfair and trying to find like the nuts. The nice part is also if we're up against Re-Scaminator, we don't have a big fatty for them to be able to reanimate, which I have literally lost to grief away my big fatty with Annihilator. They reanimate in turn 1, and then I literally just can't win the game anymore because I'm never going to have any permanents, but that is not something we have to worry about with this particular hand. Alright, looks like the opponent finally kept on 5, so we're going to see what they do here. Chrome Mox, so I'm guessing this is Storm. Either that or it's like Initiative. We'll see what they put under this Chrome Mox. What is that? Sundering Eruption into a Fable with a Mirror Breaker. Okay. That's actually not awful. So we can either Ancient Tomb, run out the Grim Monolith, and then wait until next turn to do something, or we can try to Wasteland them off of any and all lands so that they just don't have mana for the rest of the game, other than their 1 guaranteed mana off of the Shaman. I actually don't hate that. Let's just go with that for now. See if we can mana screw them. We have a way to deal with this Shaman anyways, so I'm not super concerned about that, and hopefully they just like chuck their whole hand and don't hit any lands, and they're just mana screwed the rest of the game. That being said, this deck is very weak to Blood Moon style effects, being as all of our big shit requires multiple colorless mana. Ooh, they kept both cards? That's not good. Do they not have mana? I'm curious what they're trying to do here. Alright, they do have mana. 3 mana for another Fable. Okay. So they are going to be able to start like pseudo Splinter Twinning us at some point, but hopefully we can just kind of like take over the board before that becomes relevant, because we are going to be able to ramp. We just need some big fatties here. Emrakul of the Promised End does count as a big fatty. Unfortunately, this is kind of painful. We also have like infinite blockers basically if we want to, starting next turn. So, but they are going to be able to start looting. They're going to be able to make 2 treasures a turn. Luckily, our creatures are a lot bigger than theirs if we can get to that point. They chucked a Shatter Skull Smashing, so they did want to get rid of one of their cards. Get your mana, that's fine. Opponent is getting in with their Shamans. So, probably trying to restrict their mana wasn't the best idea in the world, but we're going to see what happens here. We're probably just going to, next turn, unless we draw something really good, we're just going to, like, play out a land, Cozy's Command away something relevant, make a bunch of blockers to try to ramp into this Emrakul, unless we draw something really good here. Ooh, Gaia's Cradle is going to be fantastic with this. Do this on Eldrazi. And yeah, we're just going to stick with the plan here, I think. So what our plan is going to be here is we're going to Cozy's Command for 4, probably get rid of one of their reflections, make 4 dudes. Next turn, we can Gaia's Cradle for a bunch. Or we could just make 4 dudes, block, and scry, which might actually be the better option here, depending on what they do. Like, we'll see what they do, but we also might just take our beats for 2 more, like, not even worry about the board at this point, and then just see what we can do as far as digging for stuff. I don't know, we'll see what they do here. We'll let them get their mana. We'll take our 4. So this does look like it's just straight mono red. This isn't, like, initiative or anything. Okay. So let's cast this. I think we want to make dudes, and we're going to exile one of their Kiki-Jiki so they can't just go full-on Splinter Twin mode here. So they can copy it a bunch of times if they want to, but it doesn't do anything for them. Alright, they made 1 copy for some reason. Alright, so hopefully... Oh, or I can just Breaker here. Alright, so let's see. How much does this Emrakul cost? Emrakul costs 10, 4, 5, 8. Yeah, I have plenty here. Tap there. Tap there. We'll take the 2. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to take their turn. We're going to suicide their the real reflection of Kiki-Jiki into our Emrakul so that they can't Splinter Twin us. And see how much more of their board we can screw up. Alright. Let us see what our opponent is doing over there. We still are in a very, very precarious spot. But we can at least get rid of their reflections of Kiki-Jiki for good. Okay, that's fine. Make a copy of it. That's not gonna matter. Like, they can copy it as many times as they want. They're all just gonna die. Are they just, like, using their tokens so that they don't have any mana for me to screw them over with? Like, I'm just not super sure what they're doing here. Like, go ahead and make a whole bunch of these dudes. That's totally fine. The only one that matters is the actual creature one, which I'm going to suicide into the Emrakul. Like, the only thing I can think of is they're just trying to blow up as much mana as they can to try to survive for next turn. Because those are all going to go away on their next end step. And we've got a Phyrexian Metamorph and a Shatterskull Smashing. Okay. Okay, what else do we got here? What do they draw? They draw a Broadside Boombydooms. Is there any way... Okay, so I'm going to have to play the Boombydooms. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to copy something with this Phyrexian Metamorph. Is this target, or is this any... This is any target. Okay. So, let's shock this in. See what we can do here. Okay, we are going to shock the Shatterskull Smashing in. Yes, pay 3. Because the problem is we need to get rid of this Broadside as well. Unfortunately, this Phyrexian Metamorph can copy our Emrakul, which is kind of a problem. Unless we just have our Emrakuls bounce off of each other. This is also instant death if we don't just play it. So we're going to do this. Play Broadside. Alright, so what do we do here? Because it shouldn't get the cast trigger from the Emrakul. So let's move to combat. Go into combat. Swing with the Broadside. Use Broadside. Blow up your own dude with your reflections of Kiki-Jiki. Move to blocks. Block that. Oh, right, it has Menace. I forgot about that. Assign blockers. Why will it not... Here. Yes? Okay, it's having issues. Okay, there we go. It's having issues letting me arrange blockers the way I wanted to. Okay, those are all dead now. Then I pass the turn. They can... So depending on what happens here, they're going to have an Emrakul. I'm going to have an Emrakul. They're probably just going to bounce off of each other. Let all of these go away. And now they get another turn. Like I said, they should not get the cast trigger off of this Phyrexian Metamorph if they copy our Emrakul. And then we can gain some life back with Breaker and start hitting in for... whatchamacallit? Annihilator damage. It's a very weird game state. That Phyrexian Metamorph is annoying, but not the end of the world. Our opponent is casting Phyrexian Metamorph. I'm assuming they're going to copy our Emrakul. Yes, they do. Okay. That is fine. They have one card in hand, and they're going to pass the turn. Okay. So, if all goes according to plan, there's another Ugin's Labyrinth. So this is 8. This is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 mana short. I think we just play a Wasteland, pass the turn, and plan on just untapping this Grim Monolith, and hope that our opponent can't do anything too crazy. I will absolutely let these Emrakuls bounce off of each other. Alright, another land that they're shocking in. Pyrogoyf. What is this? Power and toughness are equal to the number of card types on all +1. Whenever deals damage equal to... Oh, shit. Okay, that's... I did not realize there was a Burn Goyf now. That's interesting. Okay. Almost squeaked that one out. That was super, super close. Yeah, I honestly was not expecting that at all. That being said, moving on to sideboards here. Let's bring in Dismembers and All Is Dust. Thran Dynamo seems kind of slow. Let's take those out, and let's try that. Okay, we were like, oh, a turn too short last time. Let's see if we can get it this time. Yeah, I like this. We will keep reveal Devourer of Destiny. Plan is reveal Devourer of Destiny. Hopefully hit something good. We have a Dismember to kill their first threat. If it's a Magus of the Moon, then cool. We can get around a Blood Moon effect. If it's actual Blood Moon, we have another problem. But we will see where this goes. But I like it so far. Reveal Devourer. Set up our first draw. Based on all of this, I think we'll take the Ugin's Labyrinth. Seeing as we want to play 3-drop next turn, I'm gonna go ahead and play Eldrazi Temple now. Oops, clicked into the combat phase. Alright. Come on, just like run out a Magus of the Moon so that I can dismember this thing. Or just run out some kind of 3-drop threat, blow your whole hand on it. Alright, starting out on the path that I want them to. What are they throwing under this Chrome Mox is the question. Throwing a Fury under it, okay. Oh, they're chucking a ton of stuff under Chrome Moxes. Like I said, if they can just play out a 3-drop creature that I can kill, that is fantastic. Okay, that's one way to do that, I guess. Controlling my searcher's library for a basic? I mean, yeah, we'll grab a basic. Grab our waste so we have colorless mana? Like, that was about the best that could have possibly gone, if we're being completely honest here. However, it did shuffle our library, which is mildly problematic. I'm kind of tempted to blow up the Shatter Skull Smashing. But I think it's more important that we start getting our own mana under us here. I still want to hold this up well, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. We have a 3-drop covered. Nah, we'll still just hold it up. We'll wait a turn. Like, I'd like to be able to get this Null Drifter down, if possible, real quick. Draw some cards, and then hopefully go from there. Like, another Soul Land to be able to play Null Drifter, Evoked, and then still hold up this Dismember would be nice. Alright, so going after mana wasn't going to do anything anyways. Okay, apparently this is what they're going to try to do, is just run me out of basics? Luckily I've got another one? Well, it seems like they kept a very disruptive hand, and we should actually be in okay shape, depending on how this keeps going. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just evoke out this Null Drifter so that hopefully we can draw some lands and get some mana ramp on. That being said, we are very far behind our opponent clockwise here. Okay, I like that. Sowing Mycospawn next turn is nice. Jesus Christ! Okay, our opponent apparently just really wants to try to keep us off of lands here. 3 Sundering Eruptions. However, opponent, I appreciate your, I appreciate you trying this hard, but we have ways to find additional lands. Do I want to start trying to take their lands out is the question. I don't think I want to do that yet. I think we're going to go ahead and grab a Ivugin here. And then if they can't blow up another one of our lands this turn, we can hopefully kick the next Sowing Mycospawn and take them off of mana entirely. Magus of the Moon is fine. We have the Dismember. Like, I really don't care about that at all. And this will still give us the mana to be able to do everything that we want to. Yes, it's going to cost us some life, but say goodbye to that. Play a Wasteland. We're going to kick the Mycospawn. We are doing a lot of damage to ourselves right now, but find a land, exile their land, go grab a Wasteland to get them off of their mana. And now I like where we're at. Our opponent has 1 card in hand, only 2 mana. We have been doing a ton of damage to ourselves, but I can also kick another Mycospawn to be able to take out their next land. It actually just dawned on me I should have tapped the Ivugin for red mana when I had the chance, because it actually produced mana. That being said, I don't think it particularly matters right now. Into a Kozilek's Command. We're just going to attack. I think we're just going to hold up the Kozilek's Command and pass the turn. Like, we've got so much going on right now that it doesn't really matter. We might go ahead and just play this Talisman out, though, just so we have another source of mana. Like, we could have played a creature and taken a turn off the clock, but I want to have an opportunity to actually do things here. Alright, so I can exile that, but I can just Devourer of Destiny it away as well. So I'm still not super concerned here. All right, let's get in. I think we're gonna go ahead and devour their Fable of the Mirror Breaker here in just a second. I'm giving them the shot to block that or to trade here so that I don't have to worry about blocking it later. But okay, let's cast Devourer, and we are going to get rid of your Fable of the Mirror Breaker and get rid of your City of Traders to restrict your mana, and then we'll pass the turn. And you're facing down lethal on board. Them being on the play, though, is going to be scary next game. Alright, they scooped it up. They saw they were dead. Yeah, unfortunately, them being on the draw, or on the play here, is going to be much scarier, because we're not going to be able to have the turn 1 to fight back. Do we want to change anything is the question. There is a world where Mindbreak Trap can screw up their turn 1 play. Like, that game, it would have completely destroyed their turn 1. But that being said, I kind of want Thought-Knot Seers, but they're going to get empty-handed real quick. I think we just run it back. Alright, what do we got here? We actually have a pretty decent hand. It's a little slower than I would like, but I think we're going to go ahead and keep this and trust that it gets us there. Because we also get to set up our first draw, and hopefully we see, like, a Dismember or something on top. I also wouldn't hate if our opponent just tries to keep another one of those, like, multiple Sundering Eruption hands, thinking that they can get us off of mana. Our opponent kept on 6. Let's see what they got. Okay, they got another fast turn 1 of some sort. Boom Bust. Okay. Into a Magus of the Moon. Okay. Getting down a... or finding a Dismember here would be fan-fucking-tastic. That's a Dismember. Okay. I like that. I mean, we'll just... I'm just curious. Yeah, we'll play the Forest. I was thinking, like, what if they have a Sundering Eruption, but we're just going to go ahead and play the Forest, see what they do here. And then, depending on what they do, we'll just Dismember end of their turn. We'll evoke a Null Drifter next turn. Into a Broadside Boombadooms. Okay. Alright, we're going to see if we can get them to just chuck that now. Oh, okay. I was going to see if they were just going to chuck it, but they apparently decided against it. However, that Broadside is going to be mildly problematic. But we will eventually get to a point where we can just exile it, and they are low on cards. Ancient Tomb? Okay. We're going to do this. We're going to put the Breaker under it. Play this out. We're just going to try to ramp up to this Devourer as quickly as possible, I think. And hope that our opponent doesn't really hit anything relevant. Unfortunately, like, this is still theoretically 4 damage on board right there. Plus whatever the hell else they have in their hand. They have the mana to do things, is the scary part. Okay, just hardcasting a Simian Spirit Guide I'm okay with. That is the least of my problems right now. Eldrazi Temple. So this is what? This would be 5 mana. I've only got 4. Unfortunately, I have to just evoke this Muldrifter to try to find something relevant. Actually, cancel that. Use this mana. See what we can hit here. Hopefully we can hit something to deal with what's on the board here. Okay. Grim Monolith should let me cast this Devourer to get rid of their Broadside Bombardiers next turn. However, we are looking at 6. This is 4. Theoretically 9 damage next turn, depending on what happens here. Which is scary, but we can always bounce this Breaker back to our hand if we need to gain some life. Which we might just have to do. I don't know, we'll see. It kind of just depends on what they have here. Alright, moving into combat. This is 4 damage. They might just try to wait to fling something until next turn, or they might just fling this Chrome Mox. If they have that, like, Pyroglyph thing here, I think we just die. The One Ring. Okay, I mean, that's scary, but that's not the end of the world. Because it doesn't protect their creatures. It just protects them. However, it does give them more draws, but it is going to start pressuring their life total a bit. Alright, let's see what we hit here. Talisman of Curiosity. Alright, we definitely Ivugin. Cast this. 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. Yeah, I'll wait a turn. Take out the Broadside Bombardiers. Okay, so that takes care of the immediate threat of death at the moment. And then next turn, we can go ahead and get back our Breaker and play it, I believe. However, our opponent is going to get 3 looks at something here to try to get back in the game. If they can find another broadside bombardiers, we're just dead. Okay, they're not slamming anything yet, so I'm not dead yet. Hopefully they just drew a bunch of mana sources. Alright, mana. Another Magus of the Moon, okay. Luckily, I still do have colorless mana, colored mana, and this Grim Monolith. So this isn't the end of the world right now. That being said, I do need to end this game. A Cavern of Souls. Let's play that out. Play this. I think I do have to just start attacking here, unfortunately. Like, they are going to get a lot of... Like, I'm just dead to a broadside bombardiers anyways. I just have to get in and start pressuring their life total. They are going to have to start chump blocking or they will die to the One Ring. So I'm assuming the Simian Spirit Guide is hopping in front of that. It also gets stuff out of the way. Yeah, and unfortunately there's nothing I can do here. And they're going to get a shitload of looks to try to find something. Like, my hope is they just don't hit anything. It really is what this all comes down to. And that they end up just dying to the One Ring. Or they don't draw creatures and I get a chance to be able to force them to chump block with this Magus of the Moon. But they have 6 cards in hand. And plenty of mana to do anything that they need to. They're swinging with the Magus. Interesting. Another Dismember off the top would actually be fantastic. Either that or a Breaker off the top to regain a bunch of life would be amazing as well. Okay, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is annoying. That's even more looks at a way to finish out the game. Eye of Eugene. That unfortunately doesn't do anything. So I gotta hope that they can't find a way to win the game next turn. And that I can somehow find a way to get out from under this. Unfortunately, this is the problem with playing non-blue decks, is you get to a certain point, you're kind of just at the mercy of the top of your deck. You're going to get 4 more cards, plus these 2 looks. Like, there's very low chance of them not finding a broadside bombardiers here. They're going to get 7 looks this turn to find a broadside that just ends the game on the spot. They only checked 1 card, so I'm assuming that means they found it. Either that, or they might have that Pyroglyph thingy. I don't know. They have a bajillion ways to be able to close this game out. Alright, they're playing a Chrome Mox out for some reason. Not sure what they're doing here. What are they throwing under this Chrome Mox? Alright, they put a Fury under it. Took a very long time to decide that they wanted to throw Fury under it. Okay. Shatter Skull Smashing to wipe out my creature to put me to 1. Alright, I got 1 top deck to get the hell out of this, is basically what this comes down to. Down to 1. And they're choosing not to activate the One Ring, which was weird. Alright, give me a way to get rid of this Magus. And that is not it. Womp. Oh man, so close. So close. Alright, well, on to the next one then. Alright, on to round 2. Won the die roll. Let's go. This doesn't do anything until turn 4. But I mean, I can kind of set up my draws. I actually think I might go ahead and keep this. Like, it's a little wonky, but, like, I don't know. This deck is a little weird where it doesn't have the, like, super powerful turn 1, turn 2 plays. It's more so, like, you're trying to get to turn 3 or 5 before you start doing your really broken shit. That being said, you know what? Let's grab another Myco Spawn. And we will run out a Ancient Tomb to start. We're just going to see if we can get to the point where we can, like, hopefully wasteland our opponent out of the game while we slowly get to our Myco Spawns. Alright, so if this is Re-Scaminator, that is kind of the type of deck that this deck preys upon. They chose to shuffle. So in all honesty, I might just try to take out their mana. Like, we know we're not really doing anything for a few turns anyways. So let's just take out their mana, get rid of it. Hopefully we can mana screw them as we work our way up to getting this cavern down to be able to summon Myco Spawn. Okay, they have a basic. That's fine. Alright, we have another Eldrazi Temple, so we will go ahead and drop that. Next turn, assuming they don't wasteland us, we will go cast a normal Myco Spawn. Probably go get a Eye of Ugin. Either that, or depending on what they do, we might actually go grab a wasteland and wasteland them out again. Okay, Brainstorm into Brainstorm just to dig another card deeper. Methinks they're mana screwed. Okay, they do have some mana. Ooh, Grim Monolith. Will that let me kick a Microspawn this turn? I tap this, that's 3. That does let me kick a Microspawn if this resolves. Well, we're gonna see if this works. Ooh, it does. Excellent. Yeah, let's go ahead and kick a Microspawn. We will search for a basic, kill your island unless you happen to have a daze just to save the island, and they scoop it up. All right, I like that. I like that a lot. With what they are doing, we don't know for a fact that it's Re-Scaminator. So there's something to be said about bringing in Thought-Knot Seers, and if they are in fact Re-Scaminator, bringing in Leyline of the Void. But seeing as we didn't actually have confirmation that they are in fact Re-Scaminator, I'm a little iffy about the Leylines. That being said, I also don't want to be caught off guard and just get scammed out of the game instantly. So I think we might want to bring those in. I've been taking Thran Dynamos out. They just feel kind of wonky. They're slow. I rarely ever find myself actually wanting one. Also, typically against Re-Scaminator, I trim some number of my really big shit just so that we can't get like grief scammed out of the game. So like let's try something like this. Bring the Thought-Knot Seers for hand disruption and the Leylines to shut off their graveyard if they are in fact Re-Scaminator. This is a calculated risk, but we'll see how it goes. Let's try something like that. This is all of the mana in the world, but nothing to do with it. So, and it's got 3 Leylines, which is kind of iffy. This is kind of the same deal here. We can't do anything with it. Okay, I like this. We can go ahead and keep this. We'll bin an Emrakul and one of the monoliths and try something like this. Because we can power out a Grim Monolith on turn 1, leave up a... Oh, it's Esper something. Okay. They like whatever they saw. As I was saying, like, we can theoretically... Oh, and a Gaia's Cradle? Okay. I like where this is going. Because this will... I actually could just... Gaia's Cradle, or tap this, do a Kozilek's command for 1, so that Gaia's Cradle can actually make mana and just do a normal Sowing Microspawn. But I think we'll see what they do first. Okay, they do have Frog. We have an answer for that, actually. Ooh, okay. I think we're just gonna stick with the course here. We're probably gonna go ahead and Kozilek's command for quite a bit of mana here. We could have devoured, actually, now that I think about it, but oh well. We'll see what they do. I really don't want to let them have a card, but we'll see. We'll see if they commit chucking anything to this. No, they just want the mana. So we might just K-command for 2 to annihilate that and get 2 spawns. And then if they do actually counter this Kozilek's command, we can just slam Devourer to take care of the Psychic Frog. Alright, fetching a basic into a Ponder. So they're just shaping their hand at this point. If I can get green mana, this Sowing Microspawn is going to be really good. We're going to cast this. We're going to make some dudes and exile a creature. Make some dudes, exile a creature. See if this gets a counter out of their hand. Because it has to be a force. No, okay. In that case then, play Cradle. Tap Cradle. Tap. Tap. And we kick a Microspawn. Let's take out the Underground Sea first. Alright, they're not gonna try to save it with a daze. Interesting. They're just letting all of this happen. That's very strange. Maybe they just don't have a daze. And then if they swords the Sowing Microspawn, I'm actually super okay with that. It has served its purpose. Yeah, that is totally fine. The Sowing Microspawn has served its purpose at this point. And then we just gotta hope that we can slam this Devourer and get there. It'd be nice if we just mana screwed them. Okay, no, they still have more mana. That's fine. Interesting. Okay, another Psychic Frog. That's gonna die. That's totally fine. I'm not concerned about that at all at the moment. I'd like more threats, though. Into another Ancient Tomb? Okay. Boom. 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 That's 6. We're gonna get rid of... No. We're overpaying for this, which kind of sucks, but... This also allows us to be able to pay for days if they have one. And now we just want threats off the top more than anything. Threats or an Eye-of-Ugin off of the top would be the best things here. Because unfortunately this deck does not have... whatchamacallit, selection and card draw. Chose not to shuffle. That's concerning. Frog number 3. Got it. Well, they cannot make their frog big enough to be able to kill this thing. Okay, I like sowing Microspawn. Alright, just gonna take it. Sowing Microspawn. Fully kicked. Search for a land. Trying to think. Well, we want to get rid of... I think I want to get them off of double blue. But I think I actually might want to... Do I want the Eye-of-Ugin? I think I do. I think I need the Eye-of-Ugin here. And I have the mana to be able to go search with it. Because I can go grab another Devourer to nuke this frog. Or I could go grab another Sowing Microspawn and try to get them off of mana entirely. Alright, they're jumping their frog. That's fine. Sorry about that. My headphones died there for a second. I guess I gotta go recharge those. Alright, let's see what they do here. It is a little awkward that I'd be losing my spawns to be able to do this, but I think it's what I need to do. Like I said, there's a part of me that also wants to just go ahead and grab a Microspawn and get rid of their last 2 lands. Into a Stoneforge Mystic, okay. So yeah, I think we might actually just go grab another one of these. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna go do that. We're gonna grab another, whatchamacallit here. Devourer of Destiny to be able to take out the Stoneforge Mystic. Unless we have enough to be able to... We could Thought-Knot Seer it away. We could Null Drifter. We could Microspawn and try to take them off of more mana, get them off both of their white sources, and then they're top-decked white source away. If I attack, that's 9, they go to 2. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go grab a Devourer. It's the safe bet here. And a Null Drifter. Okay. How much mana do I have here? I have a lot of mana. 1, 2, tap this, let's Devour. I might have enough mana to do both of these things here. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of your Mystic. Hit the battlefield. This is 5 mana, so I'm able to Null Drifter here as well. I'm taking a lot of damage for it, but slightly overpaid, but it gives me 1 more mana to be able to do something in theory. Ugin's Labyrinth and a Grim Monolith? I mean, I don't hate that. Let's just run it out and then play this Grim Monolith. Oh, I already played a land? Okay, so I can't do that. They have a hell of a board to get through here. And they're going to be at 2. They need like a Wrath of God style effect here, and I just don't know if these decks play that. Or they need like an Ensnaring Bridge or something. I also can block their Psychic Frog and make them chuck like most of their hand to be able to keep it alive. Or they need a removal spell for this Null Drifter. And they don't get there and they scooped it up. Alright, taking down Esper Frog, Esper Stoneblade, something like that. Alright, I like it. On to the next one. Alright, round 3, racking up the die rolls. I like it. Let's go. I don't hate this. I like it. We can Microspawn on turn 2 or turn 3. We can kick a Microspawn. So I think we're going to keep this. And slowly just work our way up toward this Emrakul. So turn 1, slam Ancient Tomb into a Talisman of Curiosity. And then next turn we're probably going to go ahead and Temple Thran Dynamo. Unless something better pops up on the top of our deck. Alright, let's see. Okay, it looks like it's probably going to be another blue-black deck of some sort. Or mono-blue? Ponder, okay. I think I am willing to trade Thran Dynamo for a Daze if they got it. Alright, opponent chose not to shuffle that Ponder. So I think we're still going to stick with the plan here unless something better pops up somehow. Like a K command is about the only thing I can think that would change this. Okay, we hit a Microspawn. So there's something to be said about going just for the Microspawn here. Like, do 1 Microspawn so that I can get another land to guarantee I can kick the next one. And that way also it guarantees that this will make mana. Um, yeah, I think we're going to do that. And we are going to play it around a daze, even though this really hurts. So we want to make sure that we spend the colorless mana there. We leave 1 mana up. And I think we're going to go ahead and grab just another soul land, maybe? Do I want to grab another soul land, or do I want to grab a Cavern of Souls? I think given our hand, let's just grab another Eldrazi temple. Alright, an opponent lets that go. That's fine. And now we can kick a Myco spawn, no problem. Okay, Grixis something. Is this going to be a frog? Yes. It's the motherfucking frog. Okay. Well, we're just going to try to see if we can get around frogs and not even care about them. Grim Monolith is interesting. So I can start working my way up to this Emrakul. The question just becomes is, do I want to... I think we start off with kicking the Myco spawn. Search for a land after we exile their island. Alright, they didn't try to save it with a daze. Let's grab a wasteland. Get rid of their other land. Get them off of that. And play a Grim Monolith. And then this should be enough mana to be able to Emrakul next turn, I think. Okay. I'm not... There's something to be said about trying to offer up this tree, but I don't think I'm going to. If they want to nuke their graveyard to be able to leap their frog, I'm okay with that. Either that or they gotta start discarding more cards. Well, they had another... Are they going to jump the frog, or are they forgetting to do it? They're not jumping the frog. How much of their hand am I willing to get rid of here? I'm gonna make them chuck parts of their hand here. I'm sure this... Okay, so this probably isn't a Re-Animator strategy. This will probably just fair Grixis. And I am more than willing to lose... Ooh, new MDFC land. That's cool. Okay, so they're just making it big enough to survive. As long as they don't have a discard spell for this Emrakul, I think we're good. Because we should have enough mana to be able to Emrakul next turn. Especially if we draw another land. Or we can Null Drifter. So what? This costs 11? This is what? 6, 9, 10. Yeah, this is 11. Let's do it. I don't remember if I don't think this Emrakul is, like, uncounterable. They're doing something here. It would suck if this gets countered. But hopefully we can destroy our opponent's hand. Black. Okay, they're just fatal pushing our Myco spawn. That's fine. Do they have a daze to go with this? No, they have a Force of Will as well, but they've got 1 card in hand. We're gonna get their next turn. Well, that was annoying, but hopefully we can do something stupid here. We'll probably end up just chucking their hand. They have a Shoulder's Edict. That's each opponent. Okay, well, we'll chuck that into the bin. Let's cast this... Do I want to cast this Ponder? Yes, I want to cast this Ponder. To give them something useless on top, hopefully. They're gonna draw a frog next turn, plus a land. So I think we want to... What can we do here? We could have them draw a frog, chuck the edict. They draw a swamp next turn and can't do anything? Okay. I don't mind that. We're going to go ahead and chuck the Shoulder's Edict. Chuck the frog. And then let's eat their yard. Alright, let's eat more of their yard. Okay, that was weird. It was like not selecting the cards. And then we can't take the hit or we die next turn. So we need to let them hit us. Or we need to pass the turn. Let them do their thing. Because they're just going to draw a land now. So we know they're going to draw their land and a frog. Alright, this is going to suck if this was another game where we were able to land an Emrakul and not pull it off. I mean, we will 100% Null Drifter. And then they're just going to play their other frog, which is fine. Like, we're 100% playing a Null Drifter. Okay, that actually helps quite a bit. That makes Null Drifter cost a lot less so that we don't have to actually hurt ourselves to play it. Alright, what do we draw for this? Talisman of Creativity and another Eye of Ugin. Okay, well, this mildly sucks that we're going to just have to chump block with this fucking, whatchamacallit here, Null Drifter. Alright, so they are going to force us to chump block here, which is fine. Okay. Basically, we need a whatchamacallit here. Devourer of Destiny, a Breaker, another Emrakul would probably do it. Go ahead and Thoughtseize me, opponent. I have literally nothing in my hand. Alright, they are empty-handed, so we know whatever we get is resolving. We're just at the mercy of the top of our deck now. A Kozilek's Command would actually be pretty nice, too. Okay, Cozy Command. That actually works. Let's go ahead and... How much mana can I cast this for? A lot, and it's going to make a bunch of dudes. Let's do that. This is a Cozy Command for 5. Actually, no. Let's do this for 2. Because I still need something off of the top to be able to deal with this other Psychic Frog. Let's scry and exile. We scry. Let's exile that. Do this for 2. This also pseudo-replaces itself. A Null Drifter, a Grim Monolith, a Sowing Myco Spawn. I think we need the Null Drifter, which we'll have enough mana for. Actually, put on bottom. We can put that on top, that on bottom, that on top. So we get the Null Drifter. I don't have the mana to do the thing, though. They only have one card. We can go down. No, they might have whatchamacallit. Alright, we'll pass the turn. They could have a Lightning Bolt, which is what I'm concerned about. Like, if they were to top deck a Lightning Bolt and we put ourselves to 3. And then this turn we should be able to Null Drifter into Sowing Myco Spawn, try to get them off of all of their mana. However, their Frog will eventually, if they just, like, bank up cards, their Frog will be big enough to be able to kill us eventually. And I'm curious what this is. Okay, it's a Brainstorm, that's fine. They can't go up on cards is the big thing here. Granted, I guess we haven't... No, we saw red earlier. So we do know that they have red. Alright, they chucked a land. They're drawing a card. So what did they draw that they actually wanted is the question. If it's a discard spell, we have problems. Into a Baleful Strix. Okay, that's fine. Because I can still deal with this frog, at least. Alright, let's... Whoops, undo that. Let's do the thing. Alright, draw some cards. Another Null Drifter. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll see what happens here. As long as they can't get rid of our Null Drifter, we can block the frog. Take 1 off of Strix, play another Null Drifter. Though they could make their frog big enough to survive here if they just chuck their whole hand to it. Or if they have a removal spell, we're just dead. Cling to Dust to draw a card. Okay. And that's death. Okay. That was unfortunate. But it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and... This is like Grixis Delvery kind of shit. Alright. Let's... We are bringing in Leylines and Thought-Knot Seers, taking out the Dynamos, and some of our bigger stuff, I think. Kind of trim like this like we did the last time. Bring these in and go from there. Alright, that was super close. Let's see if we can crank this one out. Yeah, we keep this. Turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer or Cozy's Command for 2, go from there. Or we could just, like, turn 2 Grim Monolith, go from there. And we make it so that they can't jump their frogs, and hopefully they can't ever cast a Murktide Regent. And worst case scenario, if they try to wasteland out our Eldrazi Temple, we can just send a Cozy's Command as a cantrip. Alright, let's go. I think we are better off Thought-Knot Seering, though. So we'll see what they do, though. Alright. In that case, then, maybe... That's a wasteland. You know what? Let's go ahead and... Let's just get the Grim Monolith down. I'm okay with this eating a daze. Alright, doesn't daze. So now, again, worst case scenario, we can always just, like, throw this Cozy Command out there. Getting an Undercity Sewer, okay. Put 1 card back on top of their library, okay. Unfortunately, if they do have reanimation strategy stuff, they can do that to us. Alright, so I think I want to start off by getting rid of the Undercity Sewer here. Depending on what we draw. A Myco Spawn, I don't have the colors for that anyways. Let's play the Wasteland. Let's Thought-Knot Seer them. See what they got going on over there. Make our next play based on that. Consign to memory. Okay. Yeah, let's take out the Undercity Sewers. Just get rid of it now. Luckily, we did not throw our Null Drifter into that, which would have been really bad. Alright, they're just on basics now, so they could have another consign. If we hit a blue source, we're probably just going, or a green source, we're probably just going to fire off this Myco Spawn. Or, you know, we just hit an Ivugin. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and cast a Null Drifter here. We can pay for a Daze. If they have another consign, we either get the Null Drifter or we get the draw. Either or. But if they have Force of Will and consign, I guess I mean that's a 3-for-1 basically at that point. Alright, they have something. Oh yeah, you can pay anything for consign. Alright, well we got multiple consigns out of their hand at least. We still have the ability to Kozilek's Command for 2, which is probably what we're gonna do. God, Consign to Memory is such a pain in the ass card. Alright, they're brainstorming. Alright, before they have a Kozilek's Command, or another one of those fucking Consign to Memories up, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Alright, you need either Daze or an actual Force effect now. Sowing Myco Spawn and an Ugin's Labyrinth. We need green mana, so we're putting both of these on the bottom. Another Kozilek's Command, okay. That's at least removal if I need it. Okay, Frog. We can kill that, no problem. That's not an issue. Another Eye of Ugin. So, I think... let's do this. Exile this dude, then Scry. We can do this for 2. Get rid of your Frog. You didn't have a counter last time. We need to put that to the bottom. We'll take the Thought-Knot Seer and play it. And if you have a Daze, so be it. No. Okay, what do you have? Fatal Push, Edict, Lorien Revealed, Brainstorm. Sheoldred's Edict is the only thing that can get rid of Thought-Knot Seer, so we get rid of that. They need to find a fetch land to be able to kill Thought-Knot Seer. I still desperately need green mana. Alright, there's the Brainstorm. And they can go get another land off of this Lorien Revealed, but they can't get a fetch land. Alright, there's Lorien Revealed. Grabbing an Underground Sea. Plays Underground Sea. Pondering. Okay, so they are trying very... well, they can't get a fetch land now, so our Thought-Knot Seer is still safe as of right now. So unless they have, like, a Mishra's Bauble, I don't think there's any way they can turn on Fatal Push this turn. And again, we just need... okay, chose not to shuffle. We very much just need a green source of mana here to be able to kick this Myco Spawn. Or we just draw another fucking Myco Spawn. Okay. We're probably going to... I don't know. I was thinking maybe we give up our spawns to be able to untap this Monolith, but it's not really doing anything at the moment. Alright, opponent is just passing the turn. That's interesting. So what did they have? It had to have been like a consign or something. Oh my god. It also could be an Edict. Is this an Edict? Possibly? No. Okay, they're still just taking damage. So yeah, I'm curious if it's a consign to memory, and that's why they wanted it, and if we just don't cast anything, it doesn't do anything. I would very much like a, red... what? Is this like a Kozilek's Command? Or not Kozilek's Command, Kolaghan's Command? Opposition Agent, okay, that's fine. I just won't use Eye of Ugin. I wasn't particularly planning on it anyways, if we're being completely honest. Okay, he's just holding it back on D, so I'm thinking that means he wants it to die so that Fatal Push is online. Or we just draw another fucking waste. Okay, we're just still staring at each other. We continue to just stare at each other for a minute until I can find green mana. So green mana, and I start just trying to overwhelm their consigns. Jesus. We have all the colorless mana in the world. We are back to the point where I could cast an Emrakul. However, I very much think they have a consign to a memory in their hand right now. And I don't like that I'm just letting them draw cards, because it means their hand is all reactive. Okay, that's a Gaia's Cradle. That actually lets me do things. See if we can start overwhelming them here. And we are going to do this where we leave up as much green mana as possible. And we're going to start trying to get them off of I probably should have gone after the 2 black sources if we're honest, but... Alright, floating mana, which is weird. Oh yeah, he gets to search. Oops. Oh well. Not a huge deal. He can grab, what, a wasteland from me? I'm not super concerned about that. Yeah, he grabs a wasteland, like, that's fine. He now also has the ability to turn on Fatal Push if he wants to. I mean, I'm kind of all in on it at this point. Like, he can have another one of my lands. That's kind of fine. We need to just kill him. Let's get rid of this basic. You can grab another one of my wastelands. That's fine. He doesn't have a way to play more than 1 per turn anyway, so I don't really care. And then now that Fatal Push is on anyways, let's move to combat. We'll swing in. He can kill Thought-Knot Seer. Then they're going to draw Thought-Knot Seer, which is fine. I really don't know which land I care most about at this point. What is this? For 4 mana? Search your library for an instant card with flash, reveal it, put it into your hand? Okay. Are they just searching for another consign? I only have 1 wasteland left, which is mildly annoying, but I'm also at the point now where, like, I have 2 creatures I can start pushing damage with. And if they just need to hold up mana every single turn to try to deal with cast triggers, it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, yeah, they grabbed a consign. That's fine. I'm assuming they're going to play a wasteland. Pop it. I'd like them to pop it on the Eye of Ugin, because that is still providing the most value. Yep, there's my wasteland. That's fine. But I'm also at a point where I can start actually trying to push damage here. Yep. Oh, sweet. They went after the one I have a replacement for. I am A-okay with that. And a frog, but they can't jump the frog, so I can just chump block it with Scion tokens forever. They also did not leave up mana. What do I care most about? Let's just swing in here. See if they're willing to trade anything, or if I can get them to dump some stuff into this frog before getting rid of it. Like, I would not mind them just dumping cards into this frog. Yep, chuck that, that's fine. Chuck a Polluted Delta into it, that also is fine. And they're gonna bolt that one? Okay. That is fine. Say goodbye to your frog. Bye-bye, frog. While you were tapped out of consign. Alright, let's see if this Sower of Oblivion can get us there. I do still need to work my way through this other consign to memory. Yep, Wasteland, that's fine. I do not care about that. About the only thing I care about would be like a Shouldered Edict style effect. Really? That's screaming that they have a bolt. Or is this just a Shouldered Edict? Okay, Shouldered Edict it is. That's fine. Just gotta get a couple of spells in hand to be able to try to go off with, or through this consign. Okay, cool. That is a thing. We're gonna see what they do. So I want to get to a point where I can double spell to try to get through this consign. That being said, we are very low on time here. But our life total is fine for now. We don't really care about that. Alright, we need another spell we can cast to bait this consign to misery. Or consign to memory. That is not it. We can chump block with these tokens at some point if we need to. I really do not know if we're going to have time for a game 3 if I can pull this off, is the problem. These have been some very grindy matches, considering this is a big mana deck. We can take our hit, that's fine. Like I said, I just need something to bait this consign out with. That is something to try to bait a consign out with. Let's see. We're going to see what this does. See if we can get this out. I also don't know what this Emrakul costs at the moment. I think it's more than I can afford. What is this? Is this a K command? Kolaghan's command. Discard a card, deals 2 damage? Okay, we'll just discard this redundant Eye of Ugin. That's fine. And then is he going to consign this? Yes, here comes the consign. 1 card in hand. I probably should have seen what this costs first. But I do have quite a bit of mana here. Like, what's this cost? 7? This is enough mana. Yeah, this is enough. Alright, don't have a daze/force. Well, don't have daze specifically. Opponent's just like, nice draws, and scoops it up. Okay. So we have 7.5 minutes to get through a game 3. Do I want to change anything up here? I think I want to bring the Dismembers in. Leyline honestly didn't seem super impactful there. All it did was stop Frog from jumping, so it might actually be worth just taking those out. Like, I kind of want to take the other two Leylines out because they're just dead cards otherwise. So maybe we take those out. Do we want to bring in Dynamos? Do we want to bring in All Is Dust? All Is Dust doesn't seem bad. Breaker doesn't seem terrible. Let's bring in another Breaker and bring the other Emrakul back in. Let's try something like that. Alright, this is actually a great hand. We're going to keep this. This is a fast hand to try to just power through shit. Okay, because this is going to be turn 1, Ancient Tomb into Grim Monolith, into Eye of Ugin, potentially drop a Breaker right off of the bat, or a K command of some sort. I don't know, we'll see. Opponent did mold a 6. Based off of what we have here, I think I want the Myco spawn. Are they going to counter this? If they do, it's mildly annoying, but not the end of the world. Okay, that was weird, but okay. Oh, they're cycling a Lorien revealed. Okay, that makes a little more sense. So depending on what they do here, we might actually just pop off this kit. Okay, they frogged. So I think we're just going to go ahead and stick with the plan here. Drop the Eye of Ugin, slam a Devourer, kill the Frog. Yeah, that does not change anything. Alright, that resolved. If that stays on the battlefield, we Myco spawn next turn and go to town. Alright, opponent's pondering. Alright, is this an Edict? Is this a Thoughtseize? What is this? Another Frog. Okay, that's fine. We will offer up a trade real quick. Oh, that's a Dismember. I like that. This actually will help us significantly. Let's kick a bitch. Oh, I don't have enough mana. Okay, hold on. Never mind. In that case then, let's cast this. Make dudes exile. Make dudes exile. Make mana. Kick a Myco spawn. Sack one of these. Search my library. Let's exile your black source. Just completely get you off of black if possible. And our opponent gave us the GG, so I think they're scooping up. Apparently 7 minutes was plenty of time to be able to finish this. Yep, and they scoop it up. Alright, good game, opponent. On to the next one. Alright, we keep racking up these die rolls. We're against Bomberman 99. I wonder if they're actually playing Bomberman. Yeah, I don't hate this. We can keep this. It's a little slow, but not terribly so. Like, worst case scenario, we can evoke a Muldrifter turn 2. Or we can, like, Kozilek's Command away a 1-drop or some shit. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to start off with the Ancient Tomb just so we have the option to cycle this Kozilek's Command if we need to. Okay. Flooded Strand. Into blue-black something. Into a Ponder. Okay. So, it might be worth just wastelanding them here depending on what we draw. Like, I might wasteland them and then see what happens from there. I mean, we'll see what we draw. Unless there's something much better to do. Like, I actually wouldn't hate Talisman. Play the Talisman, wasteland them off of Underground Sea, and hope that they just keep a super greedy hand. Alright, chose not to shuffle. And here comes the grief. Alright, what if I lose an opponent? We finally ran into Grief Scam. It's Grief's world, and we're all just living in it till the end of October, or August. The question just becomes, what are they most concerned about here? I feel like this Kozilek's Command might be the scariest thing for them. They also chucked an Atraxa for this, so one of their big fatties is gone. I am very concerned about them stealing this Null Drifter, though, if that's what they take. Either of these fatties is a fucking problem. I might just hold up this Kozilek's Command to be able to try to get around a reanimate on my creature. They're taking a very long time to decide what they want to take with this grief. I actually would really like a Soul Land here now so that I can Kozilek's Command around a Daze as well. There's also something to be said about possibly just like proactively Kozilek commanding, but we'll see. Alright, they took the Null Drifter. So I think I am just going to go ahead and hold up Kozilek's Command. Like I said, a Soul Land would be best so I can play around a Daze too, but I don't hit it, so I think we're going to go ahead and play a Cavern. And like I said, we're just going to hold up this Kozilek's Command, make them spend the mana to go after it. Alright, they did have another land. Alright, do they have the Daze? We'll scry. Target player, eat that. If they got the Daze, they got us. Like, if they got the days, they got us. It is what it is. The hope is that they just don't have it. Oh, they have a Force of Will. That's actually even worse. I'm trying to think if there's a way that we get out of this now. I would need to runner a shitload of lands to be able to get down this, whatchamacallit? Which I kinda can do. Let's do this. Cast this. We can try to runner into our breaker and hope that that's enough, is basically what we need to do here. I need another Eldrazi Temple. And now I will go ahead and just sacrifice the Sowing Microspawn in a heartbeat to the Annihilator trigger. Yeah, that's fine. Sowing Microspawn can go away. That's totally fine. I actually wouldn't hate a Devourer of Destiny here. Into a Psychic Frog? Okay, that's fine. I'm not super concerned about that at the moment. Oh, hey! Look what we got! Devourer gets us our dude back so that they can't keep annihilating us. Because I can get rid of that. We get our Null Drifter back. Or we can get rid of Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog draws them cards, but at this point I don't think that particularly matters. I've got 7 mana to be able to cast this Breaker. I think the Breaker is the better option here. I will easily get rid of... Alright, I'm just trying to think of what I want to get rid of here. That's 6, or that's 5. Oh, I only have 7 mana here? Wait, hold on, 6? No, I have 8 mana. Alright, gain some life, get this down, and then start getting our Annihilator stuff in. We can use the Devourer. Like, we'll probably get rid of the Wasteland, assuming that they don't have an Edict here. And this is bigger than a Murktide Regent, too. Like, we will snap get rid of our Wasteland in a heartbeat. Alright. They're jumping the Frog, that's fine. We'll take 4, they draw a card. Let's get rid of the Wasteland, that's fine. Our Annihilator is bigger, so we basically just have to dodge an Edict, because none of their other removal can deal with Breaker. Alright, I don't know what our opponent's doing here. Another Thoughtseize into a Reanimate on one of these sucks. But hopefully they don't have that. They were paying for something for a second there. Alright, what are you doing, opponent? They keep tapping to do something, but... Alright, so I think the best move here is what we really should do is Devourer of Destiny, blow up the Animate Dead, which gets rid of 2 permanents there, which restricts what they're able to actually get rid of next turn. And a Kozilek's command, too. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to do this, first and foremost. Actually, hold on, undo. No, I need all the mana anyways. Never mind. I was thinking I could do this without hurting myself, but I can't. So now we get rid of the Animate Dead, which gets rid of 2 permanents off the board. And they scoop it up. They see they're dead. Okay. Taking down the Menace of the format in game 1. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's bring in Leyline of the Void to shut down their shenanigans. And Thought-Knot Seer, this is one of the matchups I feel very, very awkward leaving my large things in the deck. And let's get rid of the Thran Dynamos. Let's try something like that. Alright, what do we do with this hand? Them taking a Devourer kind of sucks, but other than that, like, I actually kind of like this hand. I think we're going to keep this. Opponent's already down to 5. Hopefully they're mulliganing for an answer to a Leyline, assuming that we have that in here, but we'll see. Like, I feel like we have a pretty good shot as long as we're not up against the full-blown Re-Scaminator start. Alright, show Devourer. Get to choose my first draw. Oh, okay. Opponent does not appear to have the scam start going on. Out of all of this stuff, I think I want the Eye of Ugin. But we are going to play a Talisman. If you want to daze this opponent, go ahead. Alright, Undercity Sewers, okay. Don't just naturally surveil a fatty into the yard, please. Okay, Brainstorm, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, opponent's just cantripping and stuff, which is fine for now. Like, the worst thing would be if they Grief, take our Devourer of Destiny, and reanimate it. But we'll see. I might just... Like, there's a world where I want to just blow this up, and I might do that with the Microspawn, honestly. Like, I might play Eye of Ugin, or I'll play Eldrazi Temple, just normal a Microspawn to go grab a Wasteland to blow up the Undercity Sewer. I might do that. Alright, opponent chose not to shuffle. Ugh, great. Well, at least I got rid of Atraxa again. The other nice part is at least this doesn't have any, like, keywords on it. So even if they take this, it's fine. And our opponent saw our hand and scooped it up. Okay, taking down the menace of the format. Oh, all right, on to the next one. Final round. Positive record is locked. Won another die roll. I think, did we win every single die roll this league? I don't know. It feels like it. So this is a shitload of mana, but nothing to do with it. But we get to set up our next draw. I think we're gonna keep it. This is a little risky, but we're gonna try it. I've also got a lot of redundancy for if something goes wrong and they wasteland one of these lands. Opponent's already going to 5. So that screams something unfair to me. Hopefully we're not up against, like, Storm, where we have no game against them game 1. Alright. Show off our creator. Show off our Devourer of Destiny. Sowing Mycospawn. I actually like that a lot. Because it gives me something to do on turn 2. Well, not quite, I guess. However, Ancient Tomb lets me cast a Thran Dynamo, which gets me to a turn 3. I think we're going to grab the Sowing Mycospawn. Let's start with the Eldrazi Temple. This way, if they do wasteland it, we have something repetitive or redundant. Urza's Saga. Interesting, okay. So this could be like Black Storm. Is this that, like, Coveted Jewel combo deck? It looks like it. Okay. Is this the One Ring? Or is this Karn? Basalt Monolith, okay. Do they just have, like, a shitload of mana? Is that what's going on over there? What's your last card? Nothing. Okay, so it's probably a land. So the nice part is we should be able to blow up this Urza Saga before they get to do anything with it. We're just going to play another Eldrazi Temple and pass. And then next turn, we Mycospawn, go get a Wasteland, blow up the Urza Saga before they can go get anything else with it. They do have, like, virtually unlimited... Or they just have a second Saga, I guess? I guess we'll see what they do here. This Devourer of Destiny is looking pretty stupid, I'm not gonna lie. Would have liked to be able to kick this Mycospawn, but another Mycospawn off the top would let us do that? Alright, so I'm guessing they have another land. Null Drifter. Okay, I like that. Let's do Eldrazi. And then we cast this without kicker, unfortunately. Go grab a whatchamacallit. Grab a Wasteland. And then we will make them do it. Yep, they're making a dude now, that's fine. And now we just blow it up. Like, they were going to be able to make it regardless, but we don't want them to be able to tutor anything. We can whatchamacallit next turn, Null Drifter. And then we can hopefully get over their constructs. Like, we'll take the beats for 4, possibly 5. That's fine. Like I said, these Devourer Destinies are looking pretty stupid here. Alright. Getting in, that's fine. There's something to be said about blocking this, because this Mycospawn isn't really doing anything, but we'll wait. We'll just take our 4, that's fine. Problem is they have basically unlimited mana here to be able to just pop the fuck off. I'm assuming this goes and grabs another key. Alright, I don't know what they're doing, that they're just not playing cards. Because if they had a land, they would have played it. Alright, hell yeah. Full on spawn Conqueso. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Do this. Eldrazi. Kick this bitch. I am going to need to get into a position where I can do something relevant. Search for a land. Let's get rid of this thing. Make you actually shit a dude out. And I can chump block with these Mycospawns. That's totally fine. But you don't get any tutors. Yep, untap it. That's fine. What do we want here? Do I just want Ivugan? Yeah, I think I just want Ivugan here. Yeah, let's just grab the eye. Pass the turn. And depending on what they do here, I'll double block one of the constructs to get rid of it. Next turn, drop a Null Drifter. Draw some cards, possibly play a Devourer Destiny as well. And we'll see what they do. Because, like, they still have mana to be able to do stuff here. Like, this is still 5 mana. I'm just curious what's in their hand, because it wasn't a land. Like, is it like a Paradox Engine or something? No, they would have had the mana for that. Alright, another Grim Monolith, so that's just even more mana. 2 cards in hand, though. 6 mana. Okay, that's a Paradox Engine. Do you have something to do with it? No. Okay. They're all tapped out of mana. These are 7/7s, though. Yeah, I think we just chump block one of them. Yeah, let's just chump block one. We'll take 7. If they ever get something that they can cast, they have basically infinite mana now. Alright, Emrakul would be nice. Kozilek's Command. That actually gets rid of one of those. Do I want a Cozy Command? Because I can kind of Kozilek's Command whenever. Do I want to start out with that, or do I want a Null Drifter first? I think I want a Null Drifter first. Double, and whatever. See what we draw off of the Null Drifter before I go for the Kozilek's Command. Thran Dynamo and another Sowing Mycospawn. That doesn't do anything. Drop this. Put this under it. Let's cast Kozilek's Command. Scry X Exile. Scry Exile. Try to set up so I can hopefully do something crazy. Because I'm curious what the hell is stuck in their hand that they just can't play. Breaker of Creation, Devourer of Destiny. Breaker doesn't do... Like, it's a creature to start doing stuff with, but... I think we just bottom all of these, honestly. We'll actually put the Breaker on top and draw it. Like I said, if they can get any kind of... If they have anything that they can cast, they have infinite mana, essentially. But they also need a card draw engine. Alright, that gives you mana. Do you have anything to do with your mana is the question. It doesn't look like it yet. They just start losing stuff. It's not as important here. Yeah, I unfortunately think I have to do this and double block it. Just get it off the board so they don't have a creature. And just hope that they still just don't have shit to do with their mana and never draw anything relevant. Null Drifter is nice. Do I want a Drifter or... Yeah, I think I want a Drifter first. Let's cast another Drifter, draw some cards. Wasteland is interesting. Play the Wasteland. I think I just passed the turn here. Like, I could play a Thran Dynamo, but I think I want to pass the turn. That way, if they play an Urza Saga, I can just blow it up before it learns how to make mana. Alright, and they're still at a point where it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. And now I get an Annihilator trigger in, too. Well, let's see what they get rid of first. Alright, they got rid of that. I'm just debating if I want to slam this Breaker, or if I want to just keep drawing Null Drifters. I think at this point, I am better off just slamming this Breaker, so that I can annihilate more of their board next turn. Because annihilating 3 isn't bad at all. Basically just try to put as much pressure on the board as possible here. And I can cast a Sowing Mycospawn if I want even more mana, but I don't think I need to yet. And then, again, I basically just need them to not draw anything relevant. Like, as long as they don't draw a source of card advantage, I'm still good. Because, like, what the hell is in their hand that they're just hanging on to? It's just gotta be mana. Like, I don't know what else they would have that they're not playing out. Like, if they had lands, they should be playing lands out. So it's gotta be, like, 0-drop or more Grim Monoliths and stuff, and they're just waiting until they can go off. But, like, a Karn does it, a One Ring does it, a Mystic Forge does it. There's probably a good third of their deck that is just a live draw, and they just go off from there. Oh, they're doing something. Okay, Defense Grid is fine. I don't care about that. Unless they think I have some kind of instant to stop them. No? Okay, they're just playing it to get it onto the battlefield. I'm A-okay with that. Alright, well, we're gonna get in. Annihilate 3 things. This is enough that... we'll do the Annihilator one first. This is wiping out enough of their board each attack that's gonna be hard for them to be able to bounce back here. I'm assuming they get rid of 2 of the mana rocks here. Yep. And they have 1 draw to get out of this. And let's play this. Boom, boom, and boom. Play another Null Drifter. See if we draw anything relevant. Because they're still in a position where they theoretically can just pop off. But we'll see. Kozilek's Command and Emrakul the Promised End. I have not played a land yet this turn, right? How much does this cost? Cost 7? I don't think this does it, but we're gonna try. Cast this. Let's see what I get here. Like I said, I don't think this is enough. Grab Gaia's Cradle. Because this should be 6, right? 7? Yeah, this is only 6 mana, so cancel. Okay, I just gotta fade one more draw. Alright, what do they got? Did they find it? Nope. Okay, cool. They conceded. So we managed to dodge them doing anything too crazy there. Alrighty then. Against Mystic Forge combo-y stuff. Mindbreak Traps in. Thought-Knot Seers in. Let's take out the Dynamos. Devourer honestly seems kind of bad here. Let's trim 1 Emrakul, 2 Devourers, and let's try something like that. Okay, I like this. It ramps out real quick and it has a Devourer, so we're going to keep it. They kept on 7, though, so I'm kind of concerned what they got. See how crazy they go. Okay, there's a Monolith. I feel like they wouldn't have kept the hand if it didn't have a payoff, but maybe they didn't. I think our opponent is debating if we have a Mindbreak Trap. I would very much like a Mindbreak Trap off the top, just to insulate us. Alright, opponent decided against it. Okay. Mindbreak Trap? Like, I'm fine with our hand the way it is. A Mindbreak Trap in these top 4 would be great. Alright. I think we'll take the Thought-Knot Seer, actually. Out of all of those, I feel like Thought-Knot's probably the best option here. So next turn, I can Eldrazi Temple, Thought-Knot Seer, assuming they don't just, like, pop the fuck off right now. A Karn is annoying, but I can get the Thought-Knot Seer down around it. It kind of just reduces my ramp into Emrakul is all it really does. Ooh, they're on a Fleshraker build. Okay. Vexing Bobble's fine. I don't care about that. That's just off their own shit. We'll always yield to that. However, this is a combo-y version. So I do need a way to get rid of this Fleshraker eventually. Into another city. Into what? Another Fleshraker? 4 mana. Into a Karn the Great Creator. Okay. So I do need a way to kill this Karn. Whatever they get here, I can take with Thought-Knot Seer, so I'm not super concerned about that. They grab a Walking Ballista. Okay, well I can take that. That's not a problem. And then we kind of just try to work our way up. Unfortunately, I still have to find a way to get at this Karn. I don't hate Ayavugan at all. Alright, what do you got over there? The One Ring, and a Walking Ballista. Well, I think I just take the Ballista. Like, there's no point in taking a ring when they have another one. They still need a land, but if they have a key in the sideboard, they can go get their key. So we'll see. Cracking their Vexing Bauble to draw another card, that's fine. Into a Grim Monolith, okay. That was one of their draws. They can now play the One Ring, giving up their dude, making another dude. We need to get in with Thought-Knot Seer. We are still a mana away from being able to do anything with Devourer of Destiny, and there's no targets anyways. That One Ring is a problem. And they draw a land? Okay. Yeah, I think this one's probably slipping out of our hands. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one's slipping away real quick. They could cast another The One Ring, or what are they going to get? Are they going to get, like, an Ensnaring Bridge? Do they have Ensnaring Bridge? I'm curious what they grab here. They might... They grab a Mystic Forge so that they can try to keep going. Okay. Got rid of the Talon Gates, okay. And they can just chump block with Scion tokens all day long. We're just gonna go to the next one. My time is more valuable than trying to deal with this at the moment. They're pretty well ahead here. We're just gonna go to the next one, see if we can take game 3. We just gotta be super aggressive right off the bat, and we just kept too slow of a hand, and our opponent had too fast of one, I guess. Knowing that there are Fleshrakers, we need to bring in Dismembers, and honestly, I think we're just taking the Devourers out entirely. Like, they have 0 targets in this matchup, so they help smooth out our first draw if it happens to be in our hand, but I think it's more important to be able to deal with a Fleshraker. Alright, final game. This is a Mindbreak Trap and not shit else going on. Think we gotta mulligan this. We have so much mana in our deck, I think we keep this. Get rid of a Grim Monolith. This can stop an early onslaught. Yeah, we're gonna start off with Ayavugan. So if we draw a Soul Land, we can Thought Knot on turn 2. Okay, Grim Monolith, that's 1 spell. That's 2 spells. That's 3 spells. Vexing Bauble. Well, shit. Well, we gotta take that. Like, it shuts down our Mindbreak Trap otherwise. But now they're free to play whatever the hell they got here, which I'm assuming is going to be a Karn. Yep, do your thing. This is either a Karn or a Mystic Forge. Or not. Okay. Interesting. What do they have? Into another Eye of Ugin. Let's... This feels really bad, but we're blowing that up so that they can't go too crazy here. And we're just going to have to wait for a Soul Land. Like, they can still do stuff here. They've still got 6 mana. Apparently nothing to do with it at the moment. Oh my god. Okay, apparently we are going to get punished and not draw any actual lands in this game. Yeah, they have unlimited mana now. What a way to go out. Holy shit. Oh well, it happens. Like, that is the problem with this deck, is you are literally just at the mercy of your top decks. And now if they want to, they can just, like, play it safe and just go for constructs. Nope, they're going for something bigger than that. Into a Karn, let me guess. Into a One Ring? Into a Lattice. Do they have the mana? They do! Good game, opponent. I mean, literally did not draw a single land that whole game. Wow. Lost some mana screw, but I mean, it is what it is. Considering the deck is like 30 some odd cards mana and we drew no real mana. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. Was I going to draw a card anytime soon? Well, there was my Soul Land finally, but oh well, still managed to get the positive record. That was a ton of fun. I like it. Good game, opponent. Good game. Oh man, so that was a ton of fun playing this deck. It pretty much played out exactly how I anticipated. The one thing that kind of surprised me was how much game we actually had against that mono-red prison player. Normally against Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon style effects and stuff like that, and with how fast that deck normally is to be able to go wide, I did not think we'd be able to put up the fight that we did. It came down to just not being able to top deck at the end there. But it was a hell of a fight. I can't believe it went as well as it did. We were able to prey on the blue fair decks, everything fair. We were able to just go over the top, take them out. Our cast triggers were huge. The straight up exile effects of Devourer of Destiny and Kozilek's Command were able to take care of Frog, no problem. That being said, I still think that card needs to go for various reasons, but it was nice to have multiple nice, clean answers to it. And then the other thing that kind of took me for a surprise this league was that final matchup. I haven't seen a ton of Mystic Forge or Artifact combo decks lately, but actually playing through it and looking through the deck, we have no way to deal with resolved artifacts whatsoever. So that was like the nightmare matchup for us. We had virtually no game even after sideboarding. As you saw, our only real hope was to kind of cheese them out with a Mind Break trap, and even then we had the one and we had to spend it on the Vexing Bauble, otherwise it wouldn't have worked anyways. But that is definitely something to keep an eye out for if you want to play this deck. If Mystic Forge combo and Artifact combos are going to be coming back soon, this deck has absolutely no game against those whatsoever, and you are just going to get steamrolled every single time. We lucked out in game one that they just drew like shit. That was 100% luck. The other two games we just got completely steamrolled. But anyways, this deck was a blast. It was fun getting to play with some of the other Eldrazi I haven't gotten to play with yet. The cast trigger theme that they brought back with Modern Horizon 3 Eldrazi is awesome. I love that it's going back toward their original roots and bringing back Annihilator triggers, and like these feel like the old school big Eldrazi that are like, yeah, they're overcosted as hell, but they are going to end the game if you are able to get them onto the board. So this was a ton of fun. I hope you all had as much fun watching as I did playing. I will catch you all in the next one, and as always, stay salty. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like and sub button below. They are free ways to support the channel. And drop a comment, let me know what you like. Any kind of feedback you got, your opinions on my gameplay, the decks that I play, any of that kind of stuff. If you really like what you see, go ahead and drop by the Patreon. Become a patron, get to read some of my tournament reports and some stuff going on outside of just Magic in my life that I'm going to start putting over there as kind of my own personal blog. Also, you can do donation deck lists over there, just the price of a league if you have a specific deck you want to see, or you have an idea you want me to brew around, something like that, go ahead and do that. Nothing is required. It's always appreciated, though. Any donations go directly back into the channel, covering stuff such as leagues for donation decks or the rental program that I'm a part of. I am a small-time YouTuber. I'm doing this for fun. I really hope you all like what you saw. I truly appreciate you all stopping by. I will catch you all in the next video, and as always, stay salty.